Hello family and welcome to my channel, Jennifer's on Wellness. Let's do the right thing. Let's like this video. Let's subscribe to the channel. Let's grow. However, on this video, I decided to do a video on self-development, something that I love talking about and doing and just exuding. So I'll be sharing with you 10 of my favorite books. Did I say 10? It could be more than that. But I'll be sharing with you 10 or more books on that I love reading. So reading is part of my self-development that I do. So I'll be sharing with you books that I have read over the years, books that have inspired me, self-help books, biographies, books that have really impacted me in my life. So reading really plays a huge role in who I am. So I hope that it inspires you to read more, to open yourself up to a whole new world, an inspirational world, because reading has a way of doing that. So I'll be sharing, I'll write down some of the books that I'll be sharing here on the biography with the authors. Should you ever want to go grab yourself a copy, I hope you will. These books have really played a huge role in my life, really helped me, and I hope they can do the same for you. The first book I'd love to speak about is A New Earth by Eckart, Tolle, one of my favorite authors. However, before I read The New Earth, I read The Power of Now, which led me to A New Earth. The Power of Now spoke about the power of being present in every moment, the power of not being consumed by everything else that may have happened yesterday, tomorrow, which will happen tomorrow, but just being present in the now and experiencing every moment as it happens. For example, right now, being drawn into this video and listening to this video and actually being present and listening to me conveying this message. It's a beautiful book and led me to A New Earth. The New Earth, however, speaks about living and being conscious in a world that seeks to have so much, wants validation, having so much, having a lot of money, having a lot of fame, and forgetting just being in the joy of just being, of being on this world, being grateful, being alive, and what surrounds you. So it really teaches you that about being conscious, about being present for every experience, regardless of what is happening around you, regardless of the world that you live in, and just having the joy of living, of being healthy, of having family, of being grateful, of the little things that we tend to miss. So this book really, he's an incredible writer. I remember when I started reading The Power of Now, I was like, this book needs you to literally have your dictionary right next to you. The wording in this is very, some of the words in here, it really helps you. So it helps you as well with your intellect because he uses such beautiful words. So it is a book by one of my favorite authors, Iyanla, Vanzant. The woman is an incredible person. I got first introduced to Iyanla Vanzant in the book that I don't have with me right now, but it's one of my ultimate favorite books. It's called In the Meantime. In the Meantime, what that book did to me, Lord, what that book did to me was incredible. I mean, I felt that I wasn't alone. I felt like I'm not mad. The thoughts that I think, the beliefs I have, me growing into a woman, and all the emotions that you go through are normal. It made me feel home. It made me feel like I am human, and my emotions, my feelings, my ideas, my existence is okay, and I'm okay to feel the way I feel. It allowed me to embrace my journey as a human being in this world. It's an incredible book. Get yourself that book. In the Meantime, it's amazing. However, the book that I have is Until Today. What Until Today is, it's a daily devotion book. So you read a page. It's dated from the 1st of January to the 31st of December. So you read it throughout the year. It has specific themes for every month, which is incredible. I love this book. For example, I just want to share with you what each month speak of. January will speak of life, February the month of love, March awareness, April acknowledgement, May, acceptance. June, forgiveness. July, understanding. August, faith. September, trust. October, worth. November, service. December, peace. So each day you work on yourself. For example, the month of February is about love. So maybe on the 1st of Feb, it'll speak about loving everything that is around you, practicing to love and show love to everything, whether a plant, human beings, everything around you, and practicing that. And then some other day it will help you for you to devote your time on that day to loving yourself, parts of yourself that you've never loved before, and acknowledging those parts about yourself. So it's a beautiful book. It's a beautiful book to read throughout the year. It carries you throughout the year. It's practices that you practice to better yourself and better your outlook on life. Just positivity. The book I'm going to talk about now, I know that everybody probably has read this book or have seen the movie that was done on this book or have heard someone refer to this book. This is one of my favorite books, which I've read probably over 30 times and will probably still read as the years go by. And the book I am talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is The Secret. The Secret is one of the best books I've ever read. What this big book is very big on, at least what I've taken from it, is the power of the tongue. Believing, saying, speaking things into existence really does work. The practices I've learned on this book have showed me miracles, if I could say. You know, I've written checks. I know there's a chapter that speaks about writing out a blank check and writing out amount of money that you would like. I've done that and I've received that. I've spoken things into existence about jobs, about my career, about things that I want to see, things that I've spoken and believed in for a very long time and then forgot that I did, and then years later I find myself receiving those things. So this book is amazing. The people that wrote on this book, so it's a lot of people contributed to this book. So what the author did is got everybody that they have interviewed to write a piece on the book and tell you what they have done and what has happened in their lives, and the secret of life, they like to call it. This book has really helped me. Do yourself a favor, if you haven't read The Secret, read it. It may just change your life. So next up is The Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. A very newish book. I love this book. It gives you such a different perspective on how people actually succeed, what separates the very best from the rest. This book really makes you consider a lot of things, things that I never considered about being born in a certain era really contributes to your success. It makes you look at environment and the people that you surround yourself with. That combination of these things can really play a huge role in how successful you are, and constant practice of something really separates you from the rest, and just being dedicated and being like everything, your environment being supportive of your dream and your goal, the opportunities given to you, that being supportive of what the goal is, and the people around you in the household that you are brought up in. Certain things really do play a role and put other people ahead of others, and of course it makes you realize that you can change those things once you realize that where you are, what you surround yourself with, your environment, what you allow in, really plays a huge role in your life. So yeah, grab this book. It really is an amazing read. Grit is an incredible book by Duckworth, The Power of Passion and Perseverance. The style of writing in this book is not so different from Outliers. However, what the author did, what Angela did, is she based the book on a study that she had done on kids, on adults of a certain age, and different people from different professions. What the book speaks of is the difference between talent and passion, whether talent is just enough or just passion is enough, or the combination of the two, and what happens beyond that. which she calls grit, the hard work, the perseverance, that even when the talent doesn't seem enough, or the passion for a thing doesn't seem enough, the hard work that goes into it, the practices that go into it. And she does a study on kids that were known as just talented kids, but because they never practiced the things that they did over and over again, they didn't succeed later in life. But the kids that had the passion and continued to work on their craft, all the hours that they put in eventually started showing in their adult life. So it's an incredible book to read if you also have kids and want to instill certain values in kids of working hard and constantly working on your craft and making it better as time goes. So it's a beautiful book to really read for yourself if you are in whatever industry that is, that everything takes persistence, passion, not just only talent, but working on it and improving it. So it's a beautiful book to read. So this next book actually played a huge role recently in my life. I recently decided that I was going to go back into business. I had stopped wanting to become an entrepreneur for a little while in my life. This is what happens when you want to go into business. There are times where you feel very discouraged. But then I remembered my why. I remembered why I wanted to be an entrepreneur in the first place, why I wanted to pursue such things and be my own boss and essentially build my own empire. And this book really played a huge role in me deciding that and knowing how I was going to go about it, and needed the inspiration to go about it and what would set me apart from everyone else, and how I wanted this to be my own journey and where it would take me. So the starting, the beginning, and hopefully the end will be and was inspired by reading this book. So by Bishop T.D Jakes, he really goes into every detail about starting a business and gives you pointers about starting a business of your own and what would set you apart, and being able to be flying with the eagles and soaring with the eagles and not be down with the chickens. He speaks about his journey and his influences and how he got to where he is, and being able to be the serial entrepreneur that he is, because he's in so many different industries. He's in the entertainment industry, he's doing a lot of things, plus his ministry. So he's doing quite great, and this book really taps into making you a better version and standing out, building your vision from the ground up. This book truly does equip you with that. So if you're an aspiring entrepreneur and you want to succeed and you're looking for some inspiration, this is the book to read. So the next book has really changed how I do things and I look at things, and my routine on a daily has really changed in such an impactful and positive way. Probably one of the reasons, this book is probably one of the reasons I'm even shooting this video. This book is called The 5 a.m. Club. This book is amazing, by Sharma. This book literally teaches you a morning ritual that really changes your life. It really validates that how you start your day, how you set a tone for your day and work on self and equip yourself and start off early, you really do elevate your life. I must admit though, I'm still struggling with waking up at 5. I do the rituals. It's the 5 o'clock. Some days I'm great and I'm 5, I'm up. Some days it's a 6ish. I'm more of a 6 a.m. club. But this book is incredible. It really tells you about what really separates the 5%, the 5%, the most successful 5% of the world, to the 95%, and it's just about routine. and what they do and what's important, and not procrastinating, and giving time to self as well, and working on self, how important checking in with self and working on self, and making sure you start with self in the morning and not be caught up in what the world is doing and busy with as you wake up, and set a tone for your morning, and make sure that your priorities are taken care of in the morning as you wake up, and then you can give yourself off to the world and what the world expects of you. So if you're looking for a routine that will really set you apart and really help you get a lot of things done, the 5 a.m. club, join the 5 a.m. club. It's really an incredible book. It will really help you succeed and be disciplined. Just as an individual, be disciplined, and at the things that you say you will do. If you suffer from procrastination, this book will help you deal with that. You'll get things done the way you should get them done, and as you stick to a morning ritual, morning routine that makes sure that all these things that you probably have been procrastinating are done, this is the book for you. It really will. It really teaches you how the best of the best actually operates. The book I'm going to share with you is actually a 3-in-1. It's The Power of Praying by Stormie. I love this book. It's The Power of a Praying Wife, The Power of a Praying Parent, The Power of a Praying Woman. The one I'll specifically speak on is The Power of a Praying Woman. I've had this book for the past 6 years. You can see with all the markings there that I've done. So this book has, every time I feel like I am empty and I'm far from my source, I always go back to this book. So every year since I've had this book, I've read this book. It brings me back to self and who I am as a woman that prays, and in my faith and in my spirituality. It draws me back if I feel empty or I feel confused in some way in life. I always go back to this book. It's at the end of each chapter, it's got prayers that you can pray. So if you struggle with knowing what to say in prayer for specific issues, this is the book to read. So it teaches you how to pray and pray amazing. And it's got at the end of each prayer, it will quote Bible verses in relation to your prayer, so you speak things as the word says them. So it's an amazing book. I've recently also started reading The Power of a Praying Wife, The Power of a Praying Wife, The Power of a Praying Parent. I believe preparation, success, and amazing things and excellence loves preparation. So I'm preparing because I believe God for being somebody's wife and being a parent to someone one day. So I've already started reading. So if you are a wife and you want to know how to start praying for yourself as a wife and for your husband and your household, this is the book for you. If you're a parent wanting to pray for your kids as infants inside or as grown kids, you can pray. I believe that the prayer of a parent is the most powerful prayer for someone to lead a good life. If their parents pray for them, I believe those prayers go a long way. So this is an incredible book you can get for yourself. You can get 3-in-1, or you can get the individual copies because I know they have them as that. Yeah, it's an incredible book. It's quite an old book, so just see if you can get it. I don't know if you can get it online, but I know local, probably, yeah, just check online where you can get it. You can probably get it elsewhere, but it's quite an old book. I hope they still have it. So this book that I'm about to share with you excites me because I love the author. I've never met her, but I'm obsessed with her. I love her whole being, who she is, what she stands for is so inspiring. So when I heard that this book was coming, I was so excited, but I had no idea what it would do to me when I read it. Becoming. This is one of the best books I've ever read. It's so well written, even. It's so well put together. I mean, the whole book, regardless of the writing, the whole book, how it feels, the pictures, how it was just, there's so much attention to detail put into this book. But what this book did to me, it really assured me that it's okay to keep becoming the person that I keep becoming. It's okay that everything that I've been a part of, everything that I've worked in, everything that has happened to me was all working together for greater good, that there are things that I'm yet to discover about self, that are incredible, that I'm still discovering about myself, that I shouldn't bottle myself up into this one thing and mold myself according to my experiences or what life has thrown at me or society has made okay for me to be, but I keep becoming, and I should explore these different sides of me in everything that I do. I should explore who I am and not try to be like anybody else but self, and because that would be an injustice to me if I were to try to be somebody else and not who I'm meant to be and who I'm becoming to be, and explore all these things about myself. So this book really did good for me, inspired me to do other things as well, inspired me to tap into dreams that I had forgotten I had. So young lady out there, young man as well, get yourself this book. The next book was written by everybody's favorite woman, Mama Oprah. I love this book, The Path Made Clear. This book came at such a incredible point in my life. Well, a point where I needed to read something like this. I had just quit a job, resigned from a job because I knew that my season at that place had ended. However, after I did that, I was a bit confused on where to go from there and where my life was taking me and where I should be. And I knew I was great at a lot of things, especially career-wise. I knew I was great at everything that I put my mind into. I'm great at it, but where exactly is my path? What is my calling? Where should I be? And this book really helped make things clear for me. And I know a lot of us go through times where we really question of what our destiny holds, or what our purpose is, or where life is actually taking us. And that could really put you in such a bad mind space when you are very confused and you're just trying to figure out where you are going. So this book, if you're struggling and not knowing where it is that you're going and confused about your path, whether career-wise, whether just life, your personal life, wherever you may be, this is a book to read. I will share a part of this book that really blew me over, that helped me deal with whatever it is I was dealing with at the time, which is confusion of not knowing where to from now. It's under... So the chapters have names and not numbered, their names. So this chapter is the clouds chapter. And Oprah was talking to Carolyn Myers. It reads, Carolyn Myers says, "We have an intuitive voice in us. We are born intuitive. We are so intuitive that for most people, it's the source of their greatest suffering. Because people hear when they've betrayed themselves. People are very much aware when they have not been honest with themselves. It's that voice that says, you shouldn't have said that, or you know that's not right." Oprah then goes, meaning things like, you're still with this person, but you should have left 12 years ago. Caroline then goes on to say, this is the voice of your conscious. It's the voice of your gut instinct. It's the voice you don't want to hear that never turns off. This is the part that says you should push and you should do this. So it's the part that keeps us moving, turning the wheel of our lives. It's also the part that says, this is it. You've done everything you can. That's as far as you can go. It will guide you. It will say, this is it. Oprah then goes on to say, so what you're saying is exactly what I've lived and believed, how I've operated. Once you accept, when you have done everything that you can do, you surrender. You let it go to the power and energy that is greater than yourself. That blew me away, because at that moment I knew all I had to do was to surrender, was to trust in the process of life, was to trust that I was heading the right direction. That voice that told me that I needed to end a certain season was also going to guide me to the next. that I shouldn't stress about a future that is uncertain, but be in control of the present, which is the now, and trust that I'm being guided, that I'll continue to discover what my purpose is, and my path will be made clear. So last, at the end, but not least, with all of this knowledge of many other books that I have acquired and read, the ones that I've shared with you, with all of these, with this knowledge that I have inside of my head, there are times in my life where all of that I forget, where life comes at me and throws at me situations that make me lose all sense of self and what I've learned and everything, all the knowledge, all the intellect, everything I've read from all these books that I've shared with you and more just goes, because life just happens. But there's this one book that even when everything is against me, every odd is against me, when everything does not seem to be making sense, there's one book. And this very one book that I feel like every book I've read always leads and has the principles of this one book. This one book that has held me through the hardest, to the greatest, to the most amazing moments, to the most horrible moments, traumatic moments of my life. This one book I always go back to. This one book I've always recited as a child. The Word, the Bible. This book has been the love of my life and will continue to be a love of my life. And my children, as for me in my house, we will honor this book. We will read this book. We will live by the principles of this book. The stories in this book have helped shape my life and how I lead my life. I've cried in this book. I've celebrated in this book. It keeps me whole. I'm a representative of this book. If you've read this book, you understand what I mean by it. So this, out of all the books, is my #1 favorite book. So I hope that this has inspired you to read more, to work on yourself more, to invest in self and self-development so that you can be a greater version of yourself. That was just part of what I do for my own self-development, and that is reading. And there's so much power in reading. So thank you so much for taking your time and watching this video. Do like it and subscribe. Click on the subscribe button, and God bless you.